Hi guys, happy Monday. So let's talk about sleep a little bit, since sleep is how we spend around 1/3 of our lives, and it is very important to have a good quality sleep. If you suffer with mental health, most likely you experience some problems with your sleep. And specifically, me as a person who struggles with borderline personality disorder, I have had sleep problems for almost as long as I can remember. I had trouble sleeping for the last 10 or 15 years, and it is not very nice to have sleeping problems. I didn't think that having trouble sleeping is a common symptom of borderline personality disorder until I googled it and discovered that actually there were some studies that showed that our sleeping patterns are altered because of different brain chemistry that we have. So when we sleep, there are two parts of the cycle: the rapid eye movement and the non-rapid eye movement parts, where the rapid eye movement is where we have the dreams and our brain is more active and it's easier for us to wake up during that cycle. And then the non-rapid eye movement is divided into 3 parts. And the first one is like the lightest sleep, so your eyes are closed, but it's the easiest for you to wake up during that time. Then the second part is the light sleep. You sleep lightly, but still it's harder for you to wake up during that time. And then there's deep sleep, where your brain rests and your heart slows down, and just, you get the most rest out of this part of your sleeping cycle. So for adults, the rapid eye movement part of the sleeping cycle takes about 20%, if I'm not mistaken, of the entire time of sleeping. And in borderlines, it is kind of altered because of the brain chemistry, as I said. And the most common problem that people experience are nightmares and insomnia, trouble waking up, which I don't really experience. Wake up really easily and I get really easily startled. And lately I have begun having some trouble sleeping again, although I didn't have any problems with that for the last couple of months, which is kind of weird. And I was looking into the causes and roots of what it is and looking into some habits, so I wanted to share kind of my experience and what I found with you guys. So what happens to me is that I fall asleep quite easily because I get tired during the day. I'm quite physically active, or especially when I work using my brain a lot, I get especially tired and I need more sleep. So for me, it used to be hard to fall asleep, but now it's not. And when it used to be hard, it is really, really annoying because you just lay there in bed and you're tired, but you're so anxious or you're so scared or stressed that just these thoughts keep circling around in your head and you really cannot bring yourself to go to sleep. And it makes you even angrier, and then you have more and more emotions building up, and it makes it even harder for you to fall asleep. So when I was at university, I was living in a dormitory with another person in a room, and it was extremely hard to fall asleep with someone who is not asleep yet and they are like moving around and there is light. And so I used tranquilizers almost every night for several years, and sometimes like combined with alcohol, which I strongly not advise to do for anyone who's watching this video. But I don't really think that like taking sleeping pills throughout your entire life is a very good idea, because ideally we have to be able to fall asleep on our own. And in the end of this video, I will share some tips and tricks that I found to be helpful to promote healthier sleep. But let's move on. So another thing that I also learned I do during my sleep when I was at university was that I move my hands around a lot. So my roommate told me that when I'm asleep, I kind of get my hands up in the air and I start like rubbing them against each other, which is really weird and I've never heard of it before, but then I googled it and apparently it is a thing and it is a stress related thing. I also know that some people move their legs or feet and they do this like repetitive motions with their feet and toes, but I don't think that I do that. At least I was never told that I do. Well, I was also told that sometimes I speak or like talk in my sleep, but I mean, probably a lot of people do, so it's not like really a sleep disturbance. And also, something that's really annoying is that I grind my teeth when I sleep, and it creates like tension in your jaw, and it creates like headaches sometimes, and just your teeth become a little bit less perfect than they could ideally be. So to manage that, you can sleep with like a protector, and it is not very convenient at first, but then it protects you from grinding your teeth against each other, and it is sometimes helpful to kind of make your teeth straighter if you have like a weird overbite or like just generally not so straight teeth. Well, I do sleep with it right now, and yeah, I could recommend that, but you have to buy it from your dentist, or like at least you have to get a recipe from your dentist because they come in different sizes. And the last thing that I am suffering from now is that I fall asleep easily, but then I start waking up after maybe 2 or 3 hours after falling asleep, and then I sleep really restless and I wake up really early, and I wake up with this general feeling of worry or anxiety, and it is annoying because you wake up and you still feel like you could sleep some more, and you slept like some 5 or 6 hours, but then you cannot go to sleep anymore, and you lay in bed for like half an hour, and then you get annoyed and you just stand up and go like start your day, because well, I hate just wasting my time laying around. I don't really know what the reason for this is. I haven't talked to my therapist in a fairly long time, and I don't really have much things to be stressed about at the moment, and I feel quite, you know, like calm. I'm almost off my antidepressants, and I mean, I feel really good, but the sleep thing kind of bothers me a little bit. But I will keep you updated on how it goes, because I will try out some like natural remedies and some like techniques to sleep better, and maybe it helps. So the things that I found to be helpful to have better quality sleep and to fall asleep faster and sleep deeper and longer is, first of all, before going to bed, switch off all the devices that you have and do not touch them for at least 1 hour before you go to sleep, because it messes up your melatonin production, and in nature you don't get like bright light right before you go to sleep, so it's supposed to be dark. And also, I mean, internet and like your devices are stressors, because you go to the internet and you read all the news about people dying and stuff like that, and it stresses you out, and this is not good before going to sleep. So please avoid any sort of devices before going to bed, at least 1 hour before. And then during this 1 hour, you can pamper yourself, like go take a hot shower, drink some chamomile tea or mint tea or some other calming herbal tea. That being said, please avoid caffeine and alcohol. Well, it's good to avoid them altogether, but at least try to avoid them right before sleep, and maybe avoid caffeine in the second half of the day if you have troubles falling asleep. Another thing is that if you have a bedroom, like a separate room where you sleep, try to only use it for sleep, because when you also work there or eat there, it kind of messes up the energy of the room, and it is not associated in your brain with sleep and sleep only. So it might be helpful to just use your bedroom to only sleep, and don't like eat inside your bed, or don't like watch movies or something like that, because it will just mess up with your psychology somehow. I find it helpful anyway. Yeah, well, one of the most important things that I can advise is to meditate, and I know that I use this as an answer for everything, but bringing peace and quiet into your mind is so helpful, and meditation can substitute a good couple of hours of sleep, even if you meditate for 10 or 20 minutes, just because it gives you a deeper rest and your brain kind of restarts and has more energy to go on with the day. So try meditating, try calming your mind, maybe do some breathing exercises, because there are some breathing exercises that can help you fall asleep better and sleep better altogether. Speaking of breathing, also it helps to have fresh air in the room. So try to open the window before going to sleep, or maybe if it's not too cold where you live, maybe try to sleep with your window open. And it's good if the temperature in the room is cooler than in the entire house, or just cooler than you are probably used to, because somehow it promotes healthier sleep. I don't know what the mechanism of it is, but it worked for me so many times, and I know that it worked for a lot of other people too. Yeah, so try to avoid eating before going to bed, maybe like 3 hours before, because I find it really hard to fall asleep when my stomach is still digesting the food that I ate before. And I really prefer to go to bed on an empty stomach, because it just promotes lighter and healthier sleep. And try to not drink too much water so that you don't have to get up at night, or at least do not drink right before going to bed, but keep a glass of water next to your headstand, because it might just so happen that you wake up thirsty, and then you don't have to go and like really wake up and go to the other part of the house to drink water, because you just have it there already. And the last thing is keep a regimen. So try to go to bed at approximately the same time every day. It is really helpful, because then your body kind of goes into this routine. And I know that a lot of people tend to like stay later at weekends and oversleep, and just, I don't know. I mean, when I had like a really great regimen of waking up and going to bed every day at the same time, even on weekends, I kind of felt the most rested that I ever did in my life. So yeah, I think that that was it for this video, and thank you very much for watching. I hope that you had a lovely weekend, and I wish you an awesome start to this week. So see you in the next video, and be nice humans. I love you. Bye.